Thought tennis was boring? Think again in my review of Kill La Kill Episode 2. My knowledge of tennis really doesn't go too far. Beyond this right here, I really couldn't tell you too much. What I can tell you is that this episode of Kill La Kill was a lot of fun and introduced a lot of really cool concepts. What I loved most about this episode is we finally got to learn a little bit more about the world and how everything works. You actually get to see where the people live underneath the giant school in the slums, and you actually get to see that Ryuko is going to be living with Mako and her family, which are completely bubbly and hilarious and very Looney Tunes-esque. As you're introduced to all of them, you get to see how crazy and dynamic Studio Trigger's animation can be. The father is absolutely hilarious and almost seems like a creeper at first. That is until Ryuko decks him right in the face. And the mother is really funny, and let's face it, the food they're eating looks disgusting. But all of this is just really, really funny and a testament to their skill as animators because it's all over the place. And some of you had to laugh when they introduced the family dog Guts. The main conflict of this episode is that there's going to be a tennis match, and this is Studio Trigger, and they're going to take things to an entirely new level. I love how they introduced this brand new character, Omiko, who is the leader of the tennis club, and she has just got a great, hilarious, awesome design. She reminds me a lot of Viral from Gurren Lagann, mostly because she's blonde and has the sharp teeth, but she's just utterly insane, and Satsuki ends up giving her this brand new Goku uniform, which is a 2-star, and what's also cool about this is she also has this, like, giant weapon tennis racket, which is kind of similar to the boxing gloves that were used in the last episode. They have this sort of, like, black and red crosshatch design, but they have like spikes all over them, and it just looks really, really awesome. And you actually get to see that Omiko and Ryuko have this first confrontation where she tries to use her Goku uniform, but it doesn't work. And apparently there is a secret to this, and I actually do love that we actually get a little more backstory that we didn't see in the first episode when she actually tries on that uniform for the first time. It actually does have a name that she gave it. It is Senketsu, which means fresh blood. And the reason for that is because Senketsu needs blood in order to work. And that's pretty much all Senketsu knows as well. He says that there's like gaps in his memory and he can't really figure out anything. It's really, really insane, but he has like a theory that possibly Ryoko's father was the one that made him. He describes him as like a man with a beard and an eye patch, and my main theory is that Senketsu is actually the father of Ryoko, and the only reason I say that is because he actually has this like eye patch over his eye, or he's like missing an eye or something, and that could maybe make sense. But still, this is all the big lead up to this huge epic tennis match, and it almost seems like it's going to be a normal fight at first. You get to see that Omiko meets up with Ryuko again. She finally is able to transform thanks to the use of this glove that was given to her by a very creepy teacher. The scene where she meets the teacher, by the way, is just very, very funny and over the top, and it kind of reminds me of Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter when he's turned on. And that's not a good thing. So they're going to have a tennis match, and what a match it is. This is awesome. I love how the entire court is ringed with like all these giant spikes. You see that everybody's watching and cheering them on, and the match here is insane. And the amount of animation and detail they give to their swings is awesome. It makes them seem really, really powerful. And Omiko and her giant tennis racket, it really isn't fair. She just has way too much power. In order to win this tennis match, she needs her scissors blade because it's the only thing that can withstand the power. So she decides to take it, and she wraps some twine around it, and she makes a makeshift tennis racket. At this point, she completely dominates in the match, and boy was this a highlight, especially the scene where Omiko gets the tennis ball slammed right into her face with her tennis racket hitting it, and you can see her face just exploding through all the different parts of the racket. It was just so funny and over the top and awesome, and the type of stuff that I was totally expecting from this series. And you'd think this could possibly be the end of the episode, but you actually get to see that Lady Satsuki has been watching the entire time, watching from on high, and she decides to come down and greet Ryuko with her sword, the Bakuzan. And she apparently knows a little bit about the suit that Ryuko is wearing, and this is, of course, just a great way to get us questioning really what's going on in the story. What's the bigger story here? All I know is this episode right here was a lot of fun, just like the first one, and it's just showing that all the episodes that are going to be following this are probably going to have a theme where she actually goes to like a school event and has to participate in it, and they just make it really over the top and crazy. There were a lot of little moments in here, mostly little animation moments that made this one special for me. Like, I loved when she met Omiko for the first time and put on her suit, how it looked like it just exploded and turned into this giant monster and just like ate her violently, but then she transformed into her normal form. Speaking of her actual suit, the Senketsu, something that's interesting I didn't even note in the first episode when she defeated that boxer guy and like defeated his uniform and it like stripped him naked. It looks like it actually like took that power and absorbed it, kind of like it did in this episode when she defeated Omiko. It looks like when people are defeated, they're completely like stripped of their uniform naked, and that's what it looks like it's just going to be doing, is absorbing the power and becoming more powerful as the series goes on. Why? I don't know, it's all speculation. Still, this was another incredible episode of Kill la Kill that had a lot of really great moments, character moments, funny, action. The music was also pretty notable. Just so many little things in this series are perfect. And again, it's one of those anime you're just going to have to kind of go back and watch again, because there's a lot of little things going on in the background and a lot of things you may not see the first time around. So just watch this episode. If not anything, watch it for Guts the dog. So I loved this episode right here. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I just really, really love it. So you guys should definitely check it out at this point. It's just a feast for the eyes. So if you guys did get a chance to check out this week's episode of Kill la Kill, I'd love to know your thoughts about it. You could tell me your favorite moments, what other characters you're hoping to see in action for the rest of the series. You can let me know with your comments below. And remember, before you leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. And make sure and check out some of the other videos we got right up top. And make sure and check out this one in particular. It is going to be my Pokemon Top 10 because Pokemon X and Y comes out on Saturday. And after playing the game, there's a possibility that some of my choices might change. So this is your chance to check out my list before I do possibly an update. So there it is. I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000, out.